I'd never presume to believe that I don't have any healing left to do, because who knows what I'll go through, and who knows if it's God's will that he wants to take me through some type of additional healing. So I refrain from saying when I was going through my season of healing, because there could be more than one, who knows. But when I was going through a particularly tough bout of healing, I would often have these visions. Like it felt like I was being taken completely apart, like Legos, completely apart. And I would have these visions, excuse me, of all these balls in the air. And Holy Spirit made it clear, if you try to take control, like in this deconstruction, if you try to take control and catch all the balls when they fall, you're going to miss more than half of them. You're going to miss almost all of them. You're going to make a mess. But he also made it clear, submit to the Lord, and all these balls are going to fall in place, and they're going to fall into the right place. It was a state of suspension, and I felt it in my spirit as I felt so disassembled. It was a state of suspension, which is naturally uncomfortable to not feel together, especially when you look around. It seems like everyone has it together. I must be the only one. This is so embarrassing. It's manifesting in word vomit. Excuse me. For me, it truly was. It was manifesting in word vomit. It was awful. All this repression coming up. It was the worst. But it was so necessary. And it taught me true submission, which is when everything seems out of place. You literally have to just throw your hands in the air and let them fall. Let the Lord, let the balls fall where they may. That's just, and I say it like that because that's just, I can still see it. I remember. And it was funny because the deeper we went into healing, the more balls would go in the air. And I'm just like, Lord, when are they going to come down? And the more balls went in the air, it's like the more of me was removed and disassembled. He was just pouring what once was out of me, getting rid of that old wineskin. But it was a process. Healing is a process. And it's not necessarily painful as we perceive pain, but it was, just very uncomfortable. Again, that state of suspension. I don't know what's going on. One day feels like a year. Nobody else seems to understand or be going through this. And it's purposeful because he wants you to submit. He wants you to just say, you know what? Not my will, but yours. And he wants you to mean it. And he wants you to mean it. I was coming to the end of myself. He was bringing me to the end of myself. And at any time, I could have just, folded and gone back to, nothing. But I could have. But this is why he says endure. This is in godly suffering is where we learn long suffering. We gain godly character, so says the word, which, patience. So much is learned in your season of healing or suffering, both as they may feel. And you will be in a state of suspension, being taken apart. And then he puts you back together. I'll just never forget seeing all those balls in the air. And I've always been just a very visual person, and I'm just like more and more every day, and I'm just like, Lord, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. Sometimes we say, I just feel like I don't know what to do. Everything is like different and falling apart. Everything that's purposeful. I know it's so uncomfortable, but it's purposeful. The Lord's not trying to build you, to build like a new foundation on top of your old ruddy foundation. He's not trying to do that, because he builds what lasts. And what you once had was a sandcastle, and the waves were coming in and your sandcastle got all muddy, and he's just like, let's get rid of all of this. And Lord knows how it would feel if he did it in one quick, probably not so good. So he takes it apart in pieces, because also as he's taking it in pieces, he's teaching us lessons. You know, these are different circumstances. He's showing me different things about myself. These are balls in the air when I'm showing you them. He was taking me apart gradually in order to put me back together in his image for his glory. And it's so uncomfortable, and he knows that. But you know, I remember I was in a Bible study later after this time had passed, and I was just in tears, and I just said, you know what, even after all that, he never left me and he never forsook me, because he doesn't want you to get in a place where you're so uncomfortable that you're mad at him. If he's all you have, that's purposeful too. He wants you to talk to him. Tell him how uncomfortable it feels. He knows. He'll comfort you. You don't have to be mad at him. He's given you all the tools you need. The Holy Spirit, another name for him is the Comforter. I can't tell you how many nights I just cried myself to sleep. Holy Spirit, scratch my head, which I like. And of course, he's not a human, but suddenly I would be comforted, lulled right to sleep. Lord, please send my angels to comfort me as I go to sleep. Suddenly, I feel secure. Truly, try these things. He is truly for you and with you always. And in a season of suffering, of deconstruction, as it were, he puts you back together in such a way that you could have never done yourself. I mean, what can we do in this world? Make money? What can we really do here? Gather worldly information, become vain. What can we really do in this world? Nothing. All that's going to perish. But the Lord removing you from yourself, removing that former you, that old man, that old wineskin, and creating you, the master potter at the wheel, unto his glory. That is a miracle. That is otherworldly, truly supernatural. Prior to all this healing, when I when the Lord first woke me up, I had this dream that I'll never forget. Quick dream. I was in a big house, beautiful house, but it was an empty house. There's nothing in it. And before you know it, I look up and a giant crane was taking the roof off of my house. And of course, now I have understanding. The Lord was preparing me. He was saying, okay, I'm coming in. We're going to do this. Because when we receive the Lord, when we're really coming to the Lord, he wants to clean house. He's going to take it all apart. He's going to clean all that out. But he's going to put it back together. And you're going to be left stronger. You're going to be left wiser. Never left, you're going to become. How's that better? You're going to become. He's going to make you into. He's going to grow you, mature you, perfect you. Unrecognizable do you become. In the process, submit. You'll feel the pressure, you'll feel the discomfort. Do it for him. Trust him. Endure for Jesus. Endure. And on the other side of that, because it won't last forever, but if you get impatient, it could feel like it's lasting forever. I got impatient. Be patient, worship your way through, and on the other side, he's right there, and you're just got that Holy Spirit glow.